Let's get into the afternoon games
Okay.
now, all right? So it's Texans and it's Seahawks.
This game is going to be, just from a pure football perspective.
This is a fun
lot of
football
fun in
game,
this
all
game.
right? The Texans coming off a bye, going up to Seattle. Everybody knows when you play in Seattle, it's a different atmosphere, especially when it's getting into later October, almost November games. Deshaun Watson, rookie quarterback, going on the road to play in a very, very tough environment. This is one of those times where that environment weighs on the fantasy perspective because it's loud. It's going to involve the snap count. Their defense isn't the same team because they have a couple of injuries.
Yeah.
So, Chris, let's start with Deshaun Watson. I'm starting him because I have to.
Yeah, I'm not because I don't have to.
Yes.
I have other options. But here's the thing. I know we like to talk about Seattle's defense not being as good as it used to be. It's still really darn good. It still is very, very good. They got 5 picks this year. They've only allowed one quarterback to have a multi-touchdown game. That was a game when they went to Tennessee to face the Titans. Marcus Mariota was able to have multi-touchdowns against them. But what does Marcus Mariota and Deshaun Watson have in common? They both can use their legs to extend plays. So if you're looking for some parallels there to see where there may be some success, I like it. Look, there's just something about this matchup, and this is a gut feeling. There's no facts behind this. When you're a rookie quarterback and you go up there to Seattle, you may feel like you're a world beater. You don't feel the pressure because you're a rookie. You're just out there having a good time. That may be beneficial to you. You may be able to not let the crowd noise affect you because you're just happy to be there, right? You're happy to be able to go up there and Seattle and be the starting quarterback.
And I know you and I talked about this a little bit on Thursday. I think the other thing about this is that Deshaun Watson has played in the toughest environments.
Yes, and so this doesn't
He played
faze
in a
me.
national championship game back-to-back years against Alabama's defense. It doesn't get much more crazy intense than that. I've been to Seattle. I love that atmosphere. You're talking about half the amount of people. Okay, it's 100,000 versus 55, 60,000. It's a loud atmosphere in Seattle. I just don't foresee. I think I buy into what you're saying.
It's a gut feeling.
It's
I'll
just
be honest.
kind of like he doesn't know any better.
Right, exactly.
He doesn't know any better.
Exactly. So he's a guy that if my guys are out, I got some buys, I got some injuries.
How about the
Watson.
narrative here? Obviously, the comments we're not going to get into, but the comments that are made from Texans owner that have impacted players like DeAndre Hopkins, players like Will Fuller. Some of these guys, DeAndre Hopkins sat out of practice. Is this going to be? Yeah, is this going to be something where you see them? I almost buy into that they're really going to show out a little bit today.
Their disagreement and their issue with their owner, take that and put that to the side.
Yes.
They're still teammates.
For sure.
That's a family. They're going to play hard for their family.
And I can see them bonding together kind of over this.
And I think that's what you're going to see. So, yeah, there's going to be a demonstration by them, I think, before the game.
Not sure what it's going to be.
And that's a whole separate issue. But on the football field, I think they're going to band together. They want to – look, no matter what the situation is, that's your brother. That's the guy you go to war with.
Yeah.
You want to play hard for your teammates.
So
they're going to play hard. No matter what if that wasn't a thing, they would still be playing hard for each other. So I don't think that has too much of an impact on them and their performance today.
All right, now let's talk about the Seahawks. Okay. Let's talk about Doug Baldwin. He's been a big disappointment thus far this season. Pretty much everybody on the Seattle offense, Eddie Lacy, Paul Richardson, none of these guys have been good.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to
I'm going to trash.
Eddie Lacy.
No, I'm not going to. I'm never going to talk up Eddie Lacy. Russell Wilson, though, because of his ability to get you points with his legs, Russell Wilson is still a phenomenal quarterback.
Did you see the note that I had in the notes this week?
Bring it on.
Okay, I said, I don't care if he needs to run for his life. He's good at it.
Yeah, no, he's really good
I don't care if he has to run for his life because he's fantastic.
The thing is about that, though, it's less to do with Russell Wilson's value and more it has to diminish everybody else's value around him. Because Russell Wilson's offensive line is trash. It is trash. It is so bad.
Ride the pine.
It is so bad. That whole offensive line.
Get him on the pine.
Put him on the pine.
Did you hear? No, I know we don't like to get into rumors and stuff here on this show, but did you hear the rumor from this morning about what Seattle might do?
Uh-oh.
They are going to try to acquire a veteran left tackle, and they're going to need to cut some cap in order to do it. And one of the guys they're talking about,
Jimmy Graham.
Is Jimmy Graham. Now, just so everybody knows,
worst trade in Seahawks history: Max Unger for Jimmy Graham. Worst trade.
Their trade of Jimmy Graham might be worse because he's got he had 4 catches to start the season. He's got a touchdown in each of his last 2 games. He's turned it on as
he's turned into a thing.
And now they're going to trade him when he's now become a thing.
Yeah.
Typical Seahawks.
Yeah.
The Seattle running back situation. If we could create a dartboard of Patriots running backs and Seattle running backs and just put their faces on a board, And just throw a
That
dart.
might be a graphic that we have
Just
for next
throw a dart at a dartboard, and that's who you're playing this week. And Paige won't let me play Eddie Lacy, so I'm not even going to begin to try to justify
refuse.
playing
No
Eddie
way.
Lacy.
Zero chance.
Don't play any of them. That's my advice.
Yeah, you're not starting any of those guys from the Seattle Seahawks offense. You love Russell Wilson. Everybody else is pretty much you're taking a shot on anybody because Doug Baldwin hasn't been very good. Richardson got in the end zone, I think, last week. So you're just picking and choosing. You're kind of looking all over the place. But I have Doug Baldwin on the team. I have him starting in a wide. I have 3 wide receivers that I start in this one league. So he is my wide receiver 3. The nice thing about starting him there is that he can put up wide receiver 1 numbers. I just am not expecting those.
No, you
I'm
should.
expecting under 10.
You should. And then if he has a big game, you're loving life.
Yeah. All right. Sunday Night Football.
You're just going to skip over the Cowboys and the Redskins.
Oh, we're going to talk about the Cowboys and Redskins.
You did this game. How can you skip over it?
I know, but I'm so excited about Sunday Night Football. I wanted to get right into it.
Yeah, fine. You know what? No, we'll just skip it then.
No, we're going to talk about this other afternoon game. That is the Cowboys and Redskins. We actually have a lot to get to in this game.
You have like multiple graphics for this one.
Yeah,
so how could you skip
show me
this?
Dak Prescott.
How could you do this to yourself?
Show me Dak Prescott.
You did
Taylor.
this to yourself.
Look at this.
Look, he's right there.
22-plus points in 4 straight games.
That's
is that good,
right?
Chris?
I think it's good. Hold on, I'm going to get my calculator out for a second here. Let me just
Put together some numbers here. Let's crank the numbers.
numbers.
That's my lock of the week.
Okay.
Dak Prescott, lock of the week.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Lock of the week.
All right, hold
Love
on.
Dak Prescott this week. It's just that you're looking at the numbers and you are buying into what the fact that you have seen
Carry
Dak
the
put up these
one.
numbers week in and week out. Their offense is still healthy. Ezekiel Elliott is still playing.
All right, the numbers check out.
As far as I know, Ezekiel Elliott will play this Sunday. Now Dak's overall value changes if Ezekiel Elliott does end up sitting the 6-game suspension, but that's not this week. So I love Dak this week. I love him going forward if Zeke does play. It's been a phenomenal year for Dak again.
Yeah,
I doubted him going into the season.
He's been so good, and he just continues to just evolve.
He's been better, actually, fantasy-wise.
I think, yeah, and just from a pure football perspective here for a second, I think he's evolving as a player. I really do.
100%.
I think he's just taking more control over the game.
All right, I shouldn't have to tell you to start Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, you're starting him every week. But I will get into something, not quite yet, about the Redskins defense. But I want to talk about Dez Bryant real quick. He has seen 8+ targets in every game and has 1 touchdown in the last 4 of his 5 games. Dez is a guy, if you throw up the X, show the people to throw up the X. Dez is one of those guys that had the rapport with Tony Romo. Last year, his value went down because you didn't see Dak Prescott go to him. He went to Jason Witten. He went to Ezekiel Elliott. They're kind of starting to develop that rapport. Dez hasn't been injured this year. They're showing that this team can now, Dak is throwing the ball more often. So I love Dez this week. I love him going forward. He's finally putting up those numbers that you drafted him for because he's been living off the cachet of his name the last 2 years in fantasy football.
I think he's finally starting to play well, and all the questions of maybe him taking a step backwards, he hasn't. He's been playing really well this year.
Jason Witten, Father Time. No team allows more receiving yards to tight ends than Washington. What does that mean? Lock and load.
Oh, yeah. Huge fan of Jason Witten this week.
You love it.
I'll love him this week.
You love him this week.
Would have been the crush if I had this matchup.
He's caught 12 of 14 targets for 115 yards and a touchdown. What does that mean? Those are phenomenal numbers for a tight end. But we are going to get into the Washington defense here real quickly because I want everybody to know.
You just kept talking up Ezekiel Elliott, now you're going to bring everybody down.
Here's the thing. Ezekiel Elliott is matchup proof at this point. Okay? You're starting him every week, but just don't expect one of those high caliber games because we got a graphic here on the Redskins defense. Okay? The Redskins defense against the run, 65.7 yards per game allowed to backs. That is the 3rd lowest in the NFL. It's pretty good. Pretty good at stopping the run.
Yeah, and I think the major part of that, Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought and I believe he's out, right?
Yeah, he is out.
So
that impacts that.
That absolutely
defense.
impacts them because I thought Jonathan Allen was one of the major reasons why they were able to have that much success. And now he's out for the season. And that changes things.
Yep.
And that really changes things. I believe they're expected to get Josh Norman back this week.
They are expected to get
So
Josh
that is going to be a
Norman back
huge boost to them because they need help in the secondary stopping the pass. So that's nice.
All right, let's talk about the Redskins quarterback. That is Kirk Cousins.
He's pretty good.
The Dallas secondary has allowed 4 top 14 quarterback performances in a row in their last 5 games. The lone exception, C.J. Beathard.
Oh, really? What a surprise.
So what do? You take that one and you throw it out because C.J. Beathard's not good, and you look at that and you go, that's a trend. You buy into the Redskins. Kirk Cousins has been a guy who week in and week out, very good fantasy quarterback. Chris Thompson, starting over Rob Kelly. I'm not telling you not to start Rob Kelly because he is getting more involved in that offense, but you're seeing Chris Thompson become the guy they're in that Washington Redskins offense, and I'm starting him.
I also love, as you do as well, Josh Doctson.
Yes.
Finally starting to look like the player. Him and Nelson Aguilar, good for both of them to kind of break out finally. After being first-round talents drafted by the respective teams. They're capable of being number one wide receivers. They're finally starting to showcase that ability.
Well, Josh Doxson's the guy who's seeing more snaps now. So that's a good thing. You see that. You're buying into that. Anything else you want to hit here in this matchup before we get into Sunday Night Football?
I mean, Jordan Reed.
I try and avoid all the guys that I shouldn't have to tell you to start, because you should know that you're going to start Jordan Reed. I want to get the fringe players who you're kind of trying to decide on, so that's why I went with some of those guys. Zeke, you're starting. Dak, you're starting. Dak's been a guy, though. He's still available in 20% of leagues.